For a man who prided himself on unity and bringing people together, nobody could move coast to coast without any problems more than Jermaine Dupri. I'm serious. JD, he was that man. You know, when everybody was like, oh, I got to worry about, I'm worried about, all these different things going on. These people didn't care. You know, there was, I would say about 90% of the people in the business that love JD. I mean, they had no problem with him. His talent was mostly like he didn't get the credit for his writing skills because they figure all JD do is work with kids. All he does is work with children. JD, he just do this. That's all he does. He doesn't do anything extra. Jermaine Dupri was producing records, writing records, all these hip hop records through the 90s, crushing the game since like 1990 all the way through the 2000s. And one drunk night, he does an interview and he starts talking about how he was better than Timbaland and Dr. Dre and all these people. And that just made Eminem jump down his throat. And all of a sudden, he became ostracized. All the great deeds he's done didn't even matter. And wow, you guys want to donate to the page and support us? Our super chat is our Cash App, and my Cash App name is Carcino, Karceno. Now, Jermaine Dupri apologized after making a record, which he shouldn't have done, and went back at Dr. Dre and Eminem, and which, they came out and did an album dissing them, and he made a record dissing them. And it was just going back and forth till he just got out of it. And once that happened, people just took sides and went against Jermaine Dupri, and it became literally impossible. Mm-mm-mm. So, anyway, people are trying to hit me with all these different things. Anyway, Jermaine Dupri had a long, hard road. He writes the Confessions album. He don't get credit. He don't get credit for nothing in the world. The Confessions album with Usher sold 20 million records. Jermaine was still making moves. From Bow Wow to Chris Cross to the Brat to all these other artists he was writing for, whether it's rap, R&B. He had what? Jagged Edge. He had Escape. He was doing his thing. And people got to give him his credit. They hated on him because he had Janet Jackson too. What is Janet doing with this ugly mother? And this was people that was friends with him. These were people that was friends that he thought was friends, and he said that even hurt him because it was people that been to his birthday party, took pictures with him, and as soon as they saw him with Janet Jackson, they really freaked out. What is this ugly frog-looking mother doing with Janet Jackson? She could do better than that. He was like, it was people that actually reached out to Janet, like, I didn't know you was like getting down with brothers. Yo, hit me up. Like, dudes that knew him was like, yo, like, dude, she in a relationship with me. This ain't some girl. We ain't just kicking it. We in a relationship. And how disrespectful was that? Dudes was that bogus that they would come right to Jermaine Dupri. Like, like it was nothing. Like, he was hurt by that. He was really hurt. And he should have been, because he was like, man, the same people that's supposed to be showing me love, that I was doing all this charity work for here in ATL trying to build something, they hate on me at the same time. And I'm out here doing stuff for you. So imagine that. You going all out to appease other people, and they don't have the same mutual respect for you. Now, when the whole thing with Destiny Childs and Jagged Edge broke out, and they threw Jagged Edge off the tour bus, and he had to go talk with Matthew Knowles and get to the gist of what was going on, and he lost money. People don't realize all the stuff JD had to sacrifice with relationships, based on these things, man, and they disrespect the man. And we, as brothers, got to understand that sometimes, some things is for hee hee ha ha, fun and games. And some things are going too far. And there's a lot of times we seem to go too far. We take that path. You say, you know what? I'm just going to go too far. And why? That's the point. Why? You don't need to. So that's what it baffles me when I see people choose that direction when they don't have to go there. It's like, why are you going there? All you got to do is chill. Stack your chips, get your money, and keep it moving. But I can't tell people how to live. So Bow Wow, when you were messed up and you needed money, who was the guy that gave you the money? No problem. JD. JD was there. Whenever the brat needed something, JD did what he could. Every chance he could get. And I mean every chance. So I came up a different way. We came up in a level of respect in the hip hop game. Then people got disrespectful. Like, it seemed like the longer it went on, it got more and more disrespectful. To now, hip hop has become uh, just a fad. Like, oh, it was some cool thing that was in the 80s and 90s. Then Eminem came. Now Eminem's not around. Now it's dead. No, it's not. Hip hop is still going to be there. It's always going to be there. And people just got to seek it out now. What they're doing is taking it out of its platform that it's supposed to be at and saying, man, F that. F that platform. This is what we need. And once you start doing stuff like that, you already creating a wrong message you're sending. You're already sending the wrong message. But give Jermaine Dupri his credit, man. This dude was doing what Dr. Dre was doing as far as numbers and money back then. Once he got Eminem, he took off, but Usher was selling more records than Eminem at the time. He was still doing his numbers, just on the low, getting his writing and producing credits. Confessions is probably one of the best R&B albums made in that era. And you had R. Kelly out there doing his thing. I mean, on the music tip doing his thing. So, I'm just saying. What are we talking about here? Do you know how many millions of records Usher sold? Right? JD wasn't no gold dude. He's the first producer to ever put out a record or album with a female artist. First debut album, and it sells 1 million copies. No female rapper, the Latifahs, the Lights, all of them before, had ever sold 1 million records. JD was the first to have a female artist to sell 1 million records with the brand. First female rapper to ever do it. He gets no credit. Unbelievable. I hear all these shows and they talk about JD and they talk about him like he's just some relic or just like he's Flavor Flav or somebody. And I'm just like, dude, do you actually know JD is still relevant in the game today? That kind of talent, that kind of mind could still be used, even in today's business. So you just have to find your niche, you have to find your way, you have to find your team, you have to find people around you could trust. But for a man who was disrespected as he was, he made Atlanta hot. He made Atlanta ATL what it was and what it is today. He's the reason record companies are coming to Atlanta. So definitely put some respect on this guy's name. Yeah, you can hit the Patreon up too. Join my Patreon. Carcino for Life is the name on the Patreon. Definitely do that, and you can support the page here by hitting up our Cash App. I'm Carcino. If you know, the Patreon is a lot of people like, well, what is the Patreon? What is that? Well, Patreon is where we can go and get more, X-rated, and we do have X-rated stuff on there. Oh yeah, X-rated, baby. We have that. We have a lot of different things going on. Like there's, how could I put this? There is some information that you didn't know that we can go into the next level on without having to feel restricted here or being blacklisted for saying it over here. So on the Patreon, when we said, yeah, you get the raw. So it's just for those who really want to know. It's things that we can't really mention over here. So that's the difference. But anyway, I'm out. Thanks for your time. Be blessed.